The number one question in real estate that we're getting asked all the time in the last 2 weeks: can I get a Rockstar price for my rental, for my sale? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it. Boom.
Wow. If I have not been asked this question, Mark, 20 times in the last 24 hours from vendors, from landlords, from buyers, is now a good time to be buying and selling during a COVID lockdown? It's a really good question, right? We're on the ground. We're seeing it, we're hearing it, we're feeling it. But the message is hard to find, right? So we're going to address some of your concerns tonight. And I think, Mark, it's really important to note that we are giving you guys good, honest advice. All right. So this is not, let's grab the commission and run advice. This is genuine good advice that you guys are going to find hard to find anywhere else. So the short answer is, Mark, is it a good time to be putting your property on the market? We're in a COVID lockdown. What would you suggest?
I can't answer it straight away, can I?
You always say that. Yes, you need to. If you don't, I will.
Can I give a couple of facts? Who the hell is going to put their property on the market for sale, for auction, during school holidays and during lockdown if you can wait a week or two? Like, who the hell is going to do that? So I've got a lovely home worth $1.5, $2 million. I'm going to sell it because I want to buy a bigger home or downsize. Should I wait until COVID lockdown is over? Should I wait until school holidays are over to start day one, week one of my auction campaign? Absolutely. Because the problem is most people are thinking like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, so here's the problem with that, guys. And I think Mark's saying that as a bit of a sort of, tongue-in-cheek type approach. Here's the thing. Everyone is going to wait until spring. Guess what's going to happen come spring? There's going to be a mad influx of properties. Vendors, if you're watching this, listen. There's going to be a mad influx of properties coming to the market in spring. It's imminent. I mean, I've been speaking with that many people. Like, I think we'll just wait until spring. The seasons have absolutely nothing to do with property prices. COVID, when we were round one COVID, so let's rewind back to March of last year. No one knew what the hell was going to happen. People thought the world was going to end. Property prices took a nosedive of about 20 to 30% in some areas of Australia. And then guess what they did? They came straight back up again. So everyone was like, I told you so. I told you so. Those property prices were going to come up. I told you so. And everyone was like, I'm not buying now. The market's crashing and it's never going to recover. Sure enough, it recovered, and it recovered quickly. And, we've been talking to people that have been in real estate for over 50 years, Mark, and they've said, I've never seen this happen in the market before. So the market did recover. The buyers went, oh, dear, I should have bought then, and I didn't. And now the market's come right up 20 to 30%, and I'm out. Guys, if you are thinking about bringing your property to market, let me tell you this. I'm on the ground. I've done a substantial amount of deals, me personally as an agent, over the last couple of weeks. I can tell you now, there are great quality buyers out there at every level. There are great quality buyers out there. If I was a vendor and I was looking to put my property on the market and had the choice of now or wait until spring, knowing what I know and seeing what I see, there is no doubt in my mind that I would be bringing that property to market right now. There is such a shortage of stock, you can almost name your price within reason. What are your thoughts, Mark?
So going back to that example that we just spoke about, you want to put your property to auction. it's school holidays. I'm not going to put my property to auction on school holidays. I'm not going to start week one during the school holidays. I'm not going to start week one during lockdown. So the fact is, sellers can abstain and hold back the material fact they can with selling their property. So they're not coming onto the market. So stock is dropping. People are not putting their property on. Why? Because it's very logical not to put on. Why? Here's the problem. The buyers are still buying. The emotion for a buyer, the motivation of a buyer does not change. You don't say, I'm going to buy after, or the perfect house has come on the market, I'll wait to buy that till the school holidays are over. You do it now. You don't say the perfect house has come on the market, I'm going to wait till COVID's over. You do it now. And not only that, but you've got more time than ever because you're at home. So you've got, look at our Sunday yesterday, you got so much time. Sport was absorbed like crazy yesterday by New South Wales because people have got time. Real estate's been consumed like crazy by New South Wales because people have got time.
But not only that, if people were ever thinking about moving in round one of COVID and they were like, oh, we might just stay put because we don't know what's going to happen. Then round two hit, as in the lockdowns. Then that hit and people are like, you know what? I think we're going to start shuffling. And people started shuffling like herds of sheep north. Up they went. They were selling from the beaches. They were moving up the north coast. And then round three hit. And then we saw an even bigger influx of people moving. And now we're seeing it again where people are saying, you know what? I thought it last time and now I'm definitely doing it this time. I had a buyer actually call me today who purchased a property off me on the weekend. And he wants to get his house on the market. And he said, Lisa, I don't know about the timing. I'm a little bit worried. I might look to get some finance just to cover me over. And I said, what are you worried about? You've just bought a property, and not a cheap property, during a COVID lockdown. There's plenty of buyers. You're testament of that. You've just bought a property. So the great thing is, fortunately, in Sydney, we are allowed to do one-on-one inspections. We're not allowed to do the open homes, but we can do one-on-one inspections. What I love about these private inspections is that we're getting great quality buyers that have been pre-qualified and we get to spend time with them. So the property that we've shown them through in DY, that one didn't work. Great. Can we take you through another property? Again, they're pre-qualified. We're having great conversations with these buyers. Stock is moving. Mark, I've had 2 of my busiest weeks I've ever had in real estate. There is definitely stock moving. There's not a huge amount of stock coming on the market, but the buyers, as you said, they have not shriveled up. They haven't gone away. In fact, they've multiplied, if for anything else.
They've got more time than ever.
Yep, I agree with that. So when we have a look at those stats on realestate.com and Domain, the level of inquiry that's coming through those real estate portals is significant. I know for a fact with my social media, many of you know that obviously I post a lot of my properties onto my social media. My social media has gone through the roof in terms of people viewing, the amount of people that have started to follow, all that sort of stuff. It's gone through the roof. So the
analytics has gone bananas on Facebook, Insta, and LinkedIn. Yep. Absolutely off the charts.
So, Mark, let's ask this question. All right, we've ascertained there are definitely buyers out there. All right, absolutely, yes. Without a doubt. The levels of stock are low. That's continuing to drive these property prices up. Is definitely the COVID lockdown affecting people's property prices? So, yes, we know we're going to get them sold, but are we going to get them sold for that Rockstar price? That's a really important thing to address.
Well, okay, it's like a watch. If you have a Casio watch with a battery and there's millions of them made worldwide, they're not worth a lot. If you have a Swiss-made watch, a certain number of released and they got a good reputation, the less that are in circulation, like with cars. Good car the less that are in circulation, the higher the price goes up, the more exotic they become. Property is just the same. Anything's just the same. A woman is just the same. A man is just the same. Anything is just the same. When there is less of it out there, the value becomes more. And at the moment, there's just as many consumers for the product of property, and there is less products of property coming onto the market, less and less and less. That is pushing the prices up. People are getting fantastic prices, and when all of these properties come onto the market, my suggestion will be is when COVID's over and when kids get back to school, when all these properties come back on, I don't think there's going to be a drop in property, but there's going to be a new level again. So all we saw as the market went up, it leveled, up and leveled. So it's going to go to a new level, and you're going to be purchasing at that new level. You're going to have a better selection of properties to choose, guys and girls. When that happens, a better selection, but you're going to be paying more for it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, auctions. So, there's been some talk. I've got a property that's going to auction on Saturday. I had a great conversation with my vendor last night who was saying, look, should we continue to do the auction or should we just postpone for another week? The reality is, and I was just watching Tom Panos actually, and he said exactly what I was thinking. So postpone what? Because it's not like, oh, great, we're coming out of lockdown, let's go back to parties and huge open homes and, big numbers at auctions. We're going to unravel from this slowly, no doubt. We don't go into a lockdown like we're in. Fortunately, it's bad, but it's not as bad as what some of the other states have seen. But we are in our version of our lockdown.
It's a feeding frenzy. Feed the sharks. It's a feeding frenzy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Buyers are out there. They're like sharks. They're looking for properties. Give them what they want. Like, should I auction my property? Absolutely. They got to eat.
Yeah. So postponing doesn't help, guys. Just understand that postponing doesn't help because God knows how long we'll be in this lockdown for. But when we come out of lockdown, it's not just going to be back to normal straight away. So Monday we're out of lockdown and Tuesday we're back to normal. It takes time to unravel from this. So, but the reality is there's people out there, Mark, we've done 3 of these. We did a Zoom. We did over the phone. We've done a couple of Zoom auctions. Was the price affected as a result of those Zoom auctions?
Yeah, upwards.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think if your agent is telling you to delay your auction, your agent is an absolute muppet. They have not run a proper campaign in order to ask. That's why they're asking that question. They should have the level of buyers there and delaying it. Like I had the other day, Lise. I know this is not what we talk. This is not the core topic of tonight. But I had another client the other day, which insisted, like with so much. As far as you can insist, like they were just bang, this is what we're doing. Mark, delay the auction. We're freaking. It's a no, it's a no, it's a no. And I'm like, roll the dice. Roll the dice. That advice I gave them, fact, made them $105,000.
Yep.
Fact.
Yes, it did.
More.
Yep, without a doubt.
More.
So the reality is,
it's.
But Mark, the only time we have a real problem here is when the buyers disappear, and they're certainly not doing that. The buyers are out in abundance. Sure, understand, guys, people aren't being silly about this. And as agents, we don't want to have ourselves in front of hundreds of people either. So people are pre-qualified. But as I said, the great news is the people that are out and about buying, they're not worried about COVID. Understand that. It's not the first time we have gone around the mulberry bush. We've done it before. We've done it multiple times. The concern the first time round was we thought the world was ending and property was never recovering. All right. But we now know the resilience of the property market. We now understand the importance of housing and the importance of just doing what we want, how we want. We know that we can all work remotely. People that have always dreamt of going and living in the Hunter Valley or Byron Bay are doing that. I'm about to bring a property to market, another one, over the next few days. You guys will see it. These guys are heading up north. He's like, I've got a great job. I can work remotely. I don't want to live in DY anymore. I had to before. I had to commute to the city, but now we're allowed to work remotely. So, guys, understand, rest assured that this is good factual advice. Your property prices have not been compromised as a result of the COVID lockdown. And
Great
rest
news.
assured
Great
that
news.
if they had, we would tell you. I told a client,
Yep.
Mark, do you remember? Phone Street Freshwater, 28 Phone Street Freshwater. Feel free to go onto RP Data and look it up for yourselves. That property was on the market a year ago. I said to those vendors, guys, the market's just not here. You don't need to sell. Put the property on hold. I will come back to you when that market's come up. We couldn't get $2.5 million, Mark. Do you remember? 28 Phone Street Freshwater.
Yep.
I contacted them about 2 months ago and said, we're there. The market's there. There's nothing on the market in Freshwater. Let's do this. They said, great timing for us, Lisa. The property sold for $3.55 million. All right. But the reality is I had told them at that time, wait. All right. We would give you that advice if we felt that it was the right advice. Again, this is just our opinion and our advice. Do what you like with it.
And guys, people reckon they've worked out the animal or the real estate agent. And I've got to tell people that if you think you've worked it out, you've got to first of all understand the animal to work out the animal. The animal of the anatomy of a real estate agent is they don't care whether prices are high or low. They care about volume. They care about churn. So how many people, friends and family, have said to me, boy, you must be so happy with how the property market's going. I said, yes, very happy everyone's making money. Prices are going up. But so many people have said that, but it's absolutely irrelevant that price has gone up for us. If prices have gone up 5, 10 or 20% and we're not selling any property, it doesn't matter. So, and how do you know if real estate agents are doing well? Volume. Is that agent transacting more property this year than last year? Is that agency transacting more property this year than last year? It has no relevance with property values up or down. The reason why I'm saying that is people think they've Da Vinci Code worked out real estate agents. You must be doing well, must be doing bad. Just look at the volume, guys. That's all that matters. So why I say that is when you're asking an agent for advice, keep that in mind. Don't just think, oh, mate, you must be, of course you're going to say that. No, we need the volume.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Can I also add that it's not just houses that are overperforming. Things have changed a little bit in real estate world. Apartments have caught up now. So I actually did an appraisal on an apartment that I'd appraised a year ago in DY, not in a particularly amazing location. It's a stock standard 2 better. And it's now, that property that I had appraised in the low 7s is now sitting in the low 8s. So, and they haven't done a single thing to the property. So that part of the market has also caught up. So again, if you're one of these vendors sitting on the sidelines going, well, I'm an apartment and I don't think they're doing as well, they have caught up, guys. They're there. But I think you need to just find peace in knowing that the market, even during a COVID lockdown, is still ticking along. It is doing exceptionally well. The buyers are certainly out. We're not seeing huge volumes of buyers, understandably. No. We're in a lockdown. But people will always need to buy and people will always need to sell. The people that I've been contacted from, the demographic of buyer, Mark, that I've been contacted from, particularly in the last week, have been people that without a doubt need to be buying. They've sold and they need to buy. They don't want to be out of this market. It's all over the shop at the moment. And they're nervous about being out of the market. So they're good. They're cashed up. They've sold their property. They know how much they've got. They know what they're looking for. They just can't find it. They just can't find it. It's not there. It's not on the market. All right. You only need to go onto realestate.com and domain and have a look at the very low levels of property that are on those portals. All right. And we understand that there's lots being transacted off market, pre-market, etc. But, we need to rely on those portals and CoreLogic and our data sources as well.
I saw some figures come through today from our friends in the office in relation to stock. this is perfect for the topic that we're talking about now. Kimbo from the office does an amazing spreadsheet that she's been running for 5 years now. She looks at the amount of properties that are going to get on the market. We're going to play a guessing game with people out there. Guys and girls, if you want to guess or you want to communicate with us, make sure you're watching this Facebook account via Novak Facebook. That will allow you to make comments that will appear up on the screen that we can actually see as well. Okay, ready?
Ready.
For sale properties on the market within the Northern Beaches. Whole of Northern Beaches, there's 110,000 properties for sale on the Northern Beaches. Of those 110,000, what do you reckon it is?
Oh, are we talking collectively houses and apartments? We're just talking properties in general.
How many properties are on the market on the Northern Beaches today? What's more interesting?
Number 350.
Close. 405. There's 405 one-bedroom units, two-bedroom units, three-bedroom units, two-bedroom house, three-bedroom house, four-bedroom house, townhouses. There's 400. So now to give you an idea of how much that stock is compared to the Northern Beaches, compared to that was a month ago, that was sitting at 500. It was sitting at 340 in December last year. December, the other ways, right?
Mark, stock levels have consistently been low. But I think let's just, before we wrap up, and we do need to wrap up, before we do wrap up, can we just very quickly talk about rental properties as well? The rental market runs a little bit different to the property market because it works on supply and demand, but the different... One more. Yes.
1,009 properties were on the market February 2019.
There you go. So stock levels they're less than half. They're less than half. Wow. Yeah. Mark, let's very quickly. Mark gets. We've got to pull him back in again. He gets drawn away with numbers. Mark, quickly, rental market before we wrap up. We're married. I'm allowed to do that. Okay.
What do you want to know about rental numbers?
Rental market. What's happening with the rental market? Up, down? Where are we? Is it a good time to be having a vacant property? What's the situation?
Vacancies are low compared to the COVID cold that we felt 9 months ago. Houses are doing really well, really, really well. Lux units where you can stay home for COVID are doing really well. Bread and butter units that haven't been renovated in a very long time, meh. M-E-H. Meh.
Yeah. Interesting, isn't it? So I would suggest that a lot of people are trying before they buy, potentially. So they're coming over to the Northern Beaches going, oh, we don't know where we're going to live. We might just rent that house in Balgala for the next 6 months, see how we go, see if we like it. That's what that kind of indicates to me, and that's why probably these little 1 and 2 bedders they're not suffering, but they're, as Mark said, they're just like, they're a bit vanilla. They're still renting, but sometimes we have to see, that little reduction in price to get them over the line. Interesting, guys.
And
hopefully
one more thing,
please. Yes, no more numbers, probably.
From a prospective tenant's vantage point, I think it's actually really good renting for tenants in the marketplace. Even if you're paying a bit more for a house, like I said, tenants are. I think you actually are getting so much for your money. It's not funny for units and houses. So I think affordability, believe it or not, when people leave Sydney, it makes Sydney more affordable for people in Sydney. So I know we're getting this churn on the Northern Beaches, which is unusual because for every person that leaves to go to the North Coast, Queensland,
we got the
South, wherever they go, we're getting people moving in from Mossman, Neutral Bay, eastern suburbs,
Correct.
so we're okay. But I certainly think from a prospective tenant, I think there's really good value on the beaches. So that's good.
Yep, excellent. All right, guys. Hopefully that's been great advice. Can I just throw something in as well? Just a little fun fact. For anyone that hasn't watched that Lux Listings, I loved it. Two of those people we know very, very well in that show, but I reckon that was really fun watching. Just thought I'd throw that in there. A little bit of trivia for the night, lighten things up a bit. If you guys don't have anything much to do during your COVID lockdown period, just jump onto Lux Listings. You know what it is? It's just a bit of fun. It is. And I reckon those guys have done an awesome job of it. So congratulations to them.
And look, another really nice fun thing to watch with girls. We had our two of the girls, 15 and 23, and Lisa, UFC fighting. It was very good. We watched 2.5 hours of it yesterday. If you get the chance to watch UFC fighting with your small child family, it's an excellent thing to watch. You guys loved it.
It was a bit awkward when he broke his ankle, but yeah, I mean, I was actually, I did love it. I really did. But I'm pretty glad that they're allowed to just absolutely bash the, you know what, out of each other. And I was just, I keep saying, that's not legal. Surely that's not legal. I mean, that you can't just punch him in the head. Mark explained to me that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's what's called full contact sport. So it's not easy.
Wasn't easy.
Girls or boys. No.
All right, guys. Hopefully the first part of this was a lot of assistance to you. We're here to help. If you need to know anything at all that's going on in the property or rental market, particularly during the COVID lockdown, we are here to help you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night, everybody.
Feel free to pick up that phone and just ask if you need any help, guys.
Bye.
See ya. I love you. Bye.